Salil, thanks a lot for talking to me. Uh, let's start at the beginning. 1988-89, you made your debut for Bombay, as it was called then. You got a hat trick on debut for Ranji Trophy.
Yeah, I got a hat trick, but I made my debut for Maharashtra actually. I was supposed to make it for Bombay, for Mumbai rather. I mean Bombay that time. But the problem was the Mumbai side was so strong, and I was just coming into cricket. So I think Mr. Paulie Umbriger was one of the selectors, I believe so. And I was told, my father told me that he had a word with Paulie sir, and Paulie sir said they didn't have any place for me in the side. He could be there in the side, but not as uh, what do you mean? Not in the playing 11. The 11 was very strong. So it was decided that I play for Maharashtra, make my debut there. And if I play well, play for the zonals, perform well, I could find a place in the Mumbai side. And he was absolutely right because the Mumbai side was terrific at that time. I mean, even in our times, it was terrific, but that's how it was. And I got a hat trick on debut, yeah. Maharashtra, Gujarat.
You then get picked for the Indian team to go to Pakistan, and there are two other youngsters who are picked alongside you. One is a schoolboy called Sachintendulkar, and the other is Vivek Razdan from Delhi. What was that experience like walking in to meet all your heroes, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean that was something. It was a beautiful experience because Sachin, I started calling him Tindlya, then Sach, then Sachin, but now we all call him Master because I don't need to say, specify why we call him Master. So Sach was like about 16 odd something. I was 21, and suddenly you are in front of people like Ravi Shastri, Mohinder Amarnath, Srikant, Kapil Dev, name it, and those people were there in the side. Maninder Singh. They were all people like, whom we used to look up to, ki yaar, they play so well. And suddenly you're there, part of the team which they are part of. You're playing for your country, India. It was like a big this thing for me and him, Sachin, because we always dreamt about playing for India. And of course, then we met them, got friendly with them. And once you become an Indian player, whether you're 11 years old, whether you're 20 years old, whether you're 16 years old, whether you're 25, whether you're 30, whatever age, that means you're mentally compatible with those people who have been there for a while. If you're good enough to play for India, that means you have to have the mental capacity to match those people. So you're no longer a kid anymore. So we were kids. I mean, of course, Sachin was a baby rather. But of course, like me and Vivek also, we were very young. I think Vivek was the same age as mine. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was a good feeling. Fantastic feeling. And it was a tough tour, actually. Pakistan.
You played in one of the side games and you got 8 wickets in that match.
Yeah.
Did you feel that everything was coming along then?
I was running in well. I was bowling the fastest, and the ball was doing its stuff. And it was not a wicket that was really conducive to fast bowling. I think that game was in, I don't remember the name of the place where that side.
Gujranwala?
Gujranwala, maybe, I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's very long back, it's about 3 decades back now. So, but I still remember the wicket. It was very white colored, cementy wicket. Of course, it was a turf wicket, but there was no blade of grass. They wanted a lot of runs, but I got a lot of wickets. I was bowling in quick, I was running in quick, and I got in the first innings I got about 6 wickets, and the second innings I got about 2 wickets. So it was looking good. It was looking fantastic.
Were you surprised that you were picked for the tour? What was your reaction like when you were picked for the tour?
Yes, I was definitely surprised. In fact, in that year, I think I played around about 5 Ranji games, I guess. And I got about 37 wickets, 37 to 40 wickets. I don't remember much. And yes, I wanted to play for the country. I was looking forward to playing the Irani trophy that took place. I think before the Pakistan tour.
Mm.
But I was not picked for the Irani trophy. So I was suddenly like, I'm part of the Indian team. I was like, it was like, how come? But then when you get picked for the Indian team, then you don't ask too many questions. You start preparing for the whole thing. So it
Mm.
had to sink in, but it definitely did sink in.
On that tour, you picked for the first test match with Sachin. Wakar also made his debut at the other side. What was the feeling like when you were told that you were going to play the test match?
No, after that match with the President's 11, I knew I was going to play the first test match. But I mean, like, of course, there were a lot of things like, see, we were very young. We were always on the verge कि हम लोग को जो बोला गया वो करो, on the field. And yes, it was a fantastic feeling getting into the crowd, and the crowd it was not pro India over there, but of course, like, people were trying to unnerve us. That's of course acceptable because you're on an away tour. On an away tour, and like, I don't think there was a stand for Indians over there because no Indians were there, only the whole of Pakistan was there. And like, two young kids making a debut for the country. It was a big pressure game and we did comparatively well, as to say. But wish I had bowled what I really wanted to bowl. Well, I was told most of the time to keep on bowling short. I didn't understand why I was told that. And whenever I used to bowl my own thing, it was some players were there who didn't want me to bowl up to the batsman and try my best. Anyway, that's a different part of the game. I really don't want to crib about it, but it was a great feeling.
I can understand what you're saying. How was Srikanth as captain?
Srikanth, he was a good captain. I mean, uh, I think he was picked as a captain for the first time on that tour. He was captaining the Indian side for the first
Yeah,
time.
he was. No, he was captain before as well, before the series as well, in the Nehru Cup and also in the Sharjah tournament before
Okay,
this tour.
we don't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, see, when you're touring Pakistan, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, and we guys being new, we didn't know what the other kind of pressure was there. I mean, we were there. We wanted to play the game. We were at the top of our fitness levels at that time, and we just wanted to go and perform. So, like, Srikanth, yes, I mean, he was a good captain, but I really certainly feel that Ravi Shastri would have made a better captain. I mean, he is one of the best captains I have ever played under. You know, his cricketing acumen, his pressure handling, everything put together. I think Ravi would have made a better captain on that tour itself.
You didn't play any other test match after that. Was that frustrating?
No, I didn't play. There was a reason for that. Why I didn't play. What happened was after the first game, like, of course, I was going to be playing the Faisalabad game. I think that was the second test match over there. But we landed in Faisalabad. It was pretty chilly over there. It was cold. And before the warm up, me and my dear friend Raman Lamba, the late Raman Lamba, we used to get along very well on the tour. He used to be like, a kind of person who used to come to me and Sachin. We used to be always talking together. He used to say, "Nahi, you guys have done well." Used to give us a lot of confidence. He was a fantastic mate. So he said, like, "Chalna yaar, let's sprint." I was like, "Yes, come on." I mean, you're 21, yeah. Raman also said, "Chalo, sprint. Let's see who wins." I went for a sprint, and then because I had not warmed up, and see, there's a reason for that. There's a medical reason for that, which I came to know now because my wife is a doctor. So I went for that sprint, and I split my quadricep muscle into two. I tore it into two.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was going to take a lot of time and to heal. And the doctor said, like, he would um, try and get me onto the field. But somewhere in me, it was there, if I'm not fully fit, it doesn't make sense going out for bowling for 1 over when you know that you're not fit and bowling a 1 over and coming back and saying like, I thought I was fit, but I was not fit. But then like, I can't play the whole game anymore. So I thought it unfair for the side because we had to win the series. We wanted to win the games and all that stuff. So um, I said like, I won't be playing because I'm not 100% at all. In fact, the first day I was limping a lot. So I think that probably changed a lot of equations everywhere. Um, So that's the reason I didn't play the second test match.
So, but was it frustrating to sit and watch the games?
Definitely, because when you know that you are supposed to play the game, and because of your muscle tear or something of the sort, and it was not that I was carrying an injury; it was an injury for the first time, and which later on I came to know with because of my wife, because I have very high uric acid levels. So my muscles are a little tighter. तभी पता नहीं था कुछ ये सब कुछ, but हो गया. And yes, I would say that was one of the turning points that time, because then I ended up playing only one test match, in my whole career. So maybe if I was fit, the whole equation of Salil Ankola playing only one test match would have been different. Maybe, I never know.
The tour ended, but you never got you were dropped from the side for about 2.5-3 years. In that phase, Bombay had
Definitely.
that pace ball.
I add one more thing,
Yeah.
because I think the fourth test match in Sialkot, it was a green top wicket,
Yes.
It was a fantabulous wicket because they were playing with four fast bowlers.
Yeah.
We were playing with three fast bowlers plus a left arm spinner, which I thought was something not really. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand, like, with a green top wicket like this, you should not be playing with four fast bowlers. You should be playing with, you should be playing with three fast bowlers. You should be playing with four. And when you know that on a green top wicket, at that time I was one of the quickest. I was the quickest in the country, and I was raring to go. I was very fit. It was not a hidden fact that I was not fit. After this, between the second and the third test match, the last day of the third test match, when it got over, I was declared fit. I was sprinting. I was running in well. I was bowling quick. I was raring to go. In fact, on the day of the game, I was told by my captain that you're playing, so you better be. And now is the time to perform. I was really raring to go. But then suddenly, about 10 minutes before the toss, I was told that I'm dropped from the side, and Maninder would be playing instead of me. And I was like, I did ask my captain, like, why is that? I mean, this doesn't make sense at all. I mean, it's a green top there. A kid like me would say that, it's a green top. I need to play. There you have Seem Akram. There you have Imran Khan. There you have Waqar Yunus. And the fourth fast bowler was also there. I forgot his name. I mean, any kid who started even cricket would tell you, like, you need to play with no, there are some people who think that, Maninder would be good. I said, okay, fine. And that was something which I didn't understand. But anyway, like, jo ho gaya, so ho gaya. But yes, of course. And after that, I came and played the home games where I got injured again for my gluteal muscle. That took a little bit while to heal.
Between 90 and 93, when you came back into the Indian team, Bombay had that.
In 92. Yeah. 92, I started the game again. 91 was a kind of a patch, actually.
Yeah. So Bombay had that bowling foundation with Frank Tyson and Nilesh and Sairaj and Abby came in. What was that phase like, forming that partnership at Bombay with all these guys?
See, I'll tell you one thing. I think for fast bowling, Mr. Frank Tyson was like a blessing. And for we never were told. I mean, as a teenager or something of the sort. I mean, we were never told. We didn't know what exercises to do, what not to do. We ended up. I mean, I ended up doing anything and everything. Okay. There was this book called The Art of Fast Bowling by Dennis Lilly.
Yes.
Okay. I used to follow that book like a Bible. Like अपना गीता होता है ना, रामायण गीता जो अपनी books होते हैं, I used to follow that. Yes, it said that we got to follow that. My father had some different principles in life. My father wanted, like, he had seen videos of, Harold Larwood cutting wood, digging the ground, and all this stuff. But he didn't missed out on the fact that, Harold Larwood was a miner by profession. He used to be in the mining. He used to work as a miner. In process, what happened that, my one side got stronger, the right side got stronger than the left side. So it was a kind of a misfortune there. But of course, when coming back to the point of Mr. Frank Tyson, when he came in, we got proper, scientific training. What you got to do, what muscles you got to use, what kind of explosive muscles, movements, exercises you need to do, how you've got to develop them, your mental strength, your attitude towards the game. So these kind of thoughts were brought in together. How you maintain calm, your meditation levels, your concentration levels, and apparently I was lucky enough to become one of Frank Sir's favorite guys. So um, apparently, the last time I met him, it was uh, some years back when I'd already given up the game. So he was one of them. He told me one thing: you are one person, you should take up coaching. I was like, it's not my cup of tea. Anyway, coming back to the point, he said, he taught us so many things, and then the things were at par at that time. It was the Australian levels of cricket, the fitness levels of the Aussie guys was considered one of the topmost. Now everything is there everywhere for everyone to see. Everybody gets their diets, their plans, their whatever structured and given to them. At that point, it was not there. So Frank Sir was one of the person who got it to our country, but I really wish it had been carried on for long rather than just have one stint with him for a year and then just dissolve the whole stint. I mean, could have been a different story. And of course, they are still my mates, Abby, Paras, Sai, and we still keep on meeting. We still have a lot of laughs of those days, and it's beautiful.
So that particular phase when you were out of the Indian team and then you were brought back, when you were brought back, you were sort of slotted as a one-day bowler. Was that frustrating?
It was, I don't know who made this slot because most of my wickets came in the longer versions of the game. I mean, India is one country where you get typecast very fast. I'm not only talking about cricket. I'm talking about any parts of life. Uh, I mean, on what basis I was slotted as a one-day bowler, I really don't know. By whom I was slotted as a one-day bowler, I don't know. But I always found myself I was a better performer in test matches, and maybe if I there was a kind of a T20 game at that time, I really would have performed well. So I mean, it was not frustrating. It was annoying. There's a difference between frustration and annoying. It was annoying that being slotted as a one-day bowler.
Did you ever ask anybody why you're being slotted as a one-day bowler?
Asked a lot of questions to a lot of people, but most of the questions were unanswered, and they were like, no, we personally just think so. You just concentrate on what we think you're better at. I mean, that was one kind of a question, one kind of an attitude which I never understood. I'm a kind of person who's very straight on the face. Who I don't care what the other person thinks. I mean, that's one attitude which has actually got me a lot far in my life. But people don't like being asked questions. This is what I've come to know. So I don't care. I mean, I asked, but I was not replied.
How was Azhar as captain in comparison to Shrikant?
See, Azul has been one of the most successful captains our country has had. Azul has been a successful captain. Saurav has been a successful captain. And so has Mr. Dhoni. I mean, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So has been Apna Virat Singh at the moment now. But he has won a lot of games for the country under Azharuddin's captaincy and all that. But most of the games we have won in India also. He's a calm and okay captain. I mean, I wouldn't really want to comment in details about that. He's been okay for the game. I mean, not bad.
Was that Hero Cup one of the high points of that particular phase for you?
See, Hero Cup was, I mean, most of the times I really wouldn't understand, you perform well for one match and then you're dropped for the next match. I really didn't understand the whole theory behind the whole situation. You perform well in one game, the next game you're dropped. I mean, it was something which I never understood in my life. Even when you ask questions, it was said, "Nahi, nahi, nahi, we feel so." I mean, you feel so. Why do you feel so? When people are in our country, I mean, जहाँ पे आप पूछते हो ना, why? There are no answers for why. We feel so. That's it. Okay, fine. You got to take it in your stride. Then you got to move ahead. And I'm not a person who will really want to argue down to the point. But a lot of Hero Cup was one of the stressful situations we were in a very stressed out situation against South Africa, and I started admiring Sachin a hell of a lot post that game. I think I was playing the game or the 12th man. I really don't remember now. But him taking the ball from Azhar, you could clearly see that he had taken the ball from Azhar, saying that let me bowl, and he was not the regular bowler of the side that time. And he won the game for us. And uske baad I had started having tremendous respect for Sach. Yes, and maybe I got a run out in that game. And in that pressure situation, if you could say so, if you stay calm and do well for your country, do well in the game, I think you should be considered as one of the longer stays for the cricket.
You were again dropped then after that, and you went back and Mumbai won the Ranji Trophy. Tell us something about that Ranji Trophy team that Mumbai had. You had one of the best bowling attacks in the country. You had almost all the batsmen that played for India. Was that the most strongest Ranji Trophy team that Mumbai has ever put together in recent times?
If I'm not talking out of my hat, I really would say so. Like, that Ranji Trophy team could have taken on any side at that time. Even if it was the Indian side, we could have taken them on. And again, hats off to Sachin, because he was one captain who would go down to the wicket before the game. He would see, ये wicket कैसा है? And if there was no grass on that wicket, he would tell the curator, ki, I want grass on the wicket. When we played in Mumbai. Of course, you don't have a say when you're playing away, isn't it? He used to go to and tell the curator, ki, I want grass on the side. It didn't matter to him whether he was playing whoever. So it was me and Abhi starting the bowling attack. And then Paras used to come in one change. And 90% of the time when we used to win the toss, we used to let the we used to put the other side in, so we could get them. We got them bundled out in about 150, 175, and all that stuff, or maybe 200. Then came our Tigers, like Vinod was there, Sanjay was there, Sachin was there. The who's who of batting were there. Even Ravi used to be there. So आके batting करो 400, 500, 700 run बनाओ. Then put them in again, and then we'll skittle them out for another 150. So it was that kind of a team. We were mentally very strong. And even when I met Sachin a few days back, he was like, that was the best period of cricket he enjoyed ever in his life. That's a huge statement which he made. Apart from comparing his 24 or 25-year-old career, and in that career, he says that 94 to 96 was the best cricket I ever played in my life, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. That's a huge statement, not only made by him. It is a huge statement for us too, because come on, man, that guy's God. I mean, even the cricket players, we as a player, I feel like he's too good, and he making that statement means a lot to us. It was one of the best periods.
And you were successful, and you finally made a comeback for the '96 World Cup. Yeah. I remember the match in Delhi against Sri Lanka.
I was saying, we had to pick him because he is one of the most experienced bowlers in the side. If I'm good, you should say he is good. That's why we picked him up. But don't make reasons. I don't know what was wrong with those selectors at that time. Anyway, I got picked up. I played one game against Lanka, and I think I was the least hit in that whole thing. But in that match also, I misjudged one catch of Ranatunga, I think. And I dropped it. I had to run a lot, but that was no reason, to drop it. But I eventually floored it. And that team of ours, that Indian team, we had the potential to win the World Cup, I feel sad about that whole thing.
Then you were dropped again. You were supposed to be picked for the England tour, but they ended up picking 4 spinners for that tour. And you were playing for Northumberland, if I remember correctly, at that time. And then you got picked after the first test match because they realized the mistake. And then Sidhu left the tour and you joined the team.
I seriously don't understand. Like when you pick up a side for touring England, first and foremost, how do you pick 4 spinners? Okay. Second thing, when you okay, fine, it's not a ये कैसे आप हिंदी में बोलते हैं, it's not a norm और ये प्रथा नहीं होती है कि कि you tell the reserves that you be on a reserve. Okay, fine, it's not a norm over here in our country. And when the side got picked, I was actually raring to go to England. I thought like I've done well, and I will definitely get picked up. But then when you get four spinners are picked, I said, okay, fine. I think the wickets in England have changed. Wow, they've come a long way. They've really started looking after Indians. Yeah, they're coming. Oh, wow, let's get them turning tracks because we have Kumble, we have a Venkatpati Raju, we have a Rajesh Chauhan. Yes, they are good. So why don't we be शेर बनते हैं और उनको ही टर्निंग ट्रैक देते हैं? ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. Anyway, whatever said and done. So I go to play in that junior county or whatever that level of cricket is in South Northumberland.
Yes, yes.
That's where I was. And before that, I had a word with my wife also. I told her like I think it's getting a little bit too much. It's getting a little annoying and getting a little frustrating that you do well, then you get dropped. Then again you come back, you play one match, you again get dropped. I think there was a term at that time also, he got Ankolad or something of the sort. Maybe like, you do well and then you drop from the side, you come back again, oh, okay, fine, oh, Ankola is back. हाँ, ये तो आते ही रहता है, ऐसे, that kind of a thing it was. You go over there, I had taken a 1.5 month break. I didn't want to play cricket at all because I just wanted to be with my kids, my family and everything. So I said, like, I'm not going to do anything. We go over there and I start training again because in that England level of cricket, like you don't need too much of itna kuch fitness nahi lagta hai. You are talking about like minor counties or playing for a club or something also. So I go to England, I join the club. First match I take about 3 wickets, that too from a short runner. I make about 48 runs of something or runs. We win the match. First two matches win. Third match also winning with me performing well. Then I told my wife like chalo, I'll start training now. Suddenly I just get a call from my father, I think, or from the board. Board, I get a letter, and from my father, I get a call. They want you in the Indian team. I said, I can't go to the Indian team, man. I'm not fully match fit. Maybe that was one of the worst decisions I've ever taken in my life. Because then my father was like, no, no, no. How can you say no to the England team and this thing and that thing? See, because of my father, I mean, I respect my father a hell of a lot. And I had never learned to say no to my father. Though at that particular point of time, I should have said no, but I still ended up agreeing to him. So I told him, like, Dad, I'm not fit. I'm not fit to play for the country. I'm only fit to play. My father said, but you've been performing over there. I said, Pops, this is club level. Club levels or country level में जमीन आसमान का फर्क होता है. But finally, my dad had his way. Then, he said, you got to join up, and I joined up. But anyway, I bowled in the first few games. I bowled okay. I mean, I was not in a good shape, so I really didn't know. But eventually, within 2 weeks, I did get my fitness back. And I said, oh, it was okay. ठीक है, क्या कर सकते हैं? But I was very fit for the Lord's game. Again, the same thing happened. What happened in Sialkot, I was very fit for the Lord's game.
There's something about that Lord's game. You were supposed to play that test match, weren't you? What happened? You said somebody got injured and you didn't get picked. What was that? You gave an interview later about that.
I was told by Azur, just before about 15 minutes before the game. There were so many times, I was told 15 minutes before the game whether you're playing or not playing. The same thing happened in Auckland also, where Sachin started opening for the first time, And so when we come back to Lords, I was told, yes, Salil, you're playing. That's what I was called, Salil. So, Salil, yeah, you're playing. That's typical Azu way of playing. I said, hey, Azu bhai, I'm waiting for this opportunity. No, definitely. Abhi jaake khelo to. Wicket bhi acha hai and you'll do well. I said, okay, fine. Again, you go back. I warmed up hell of a lot, and he told me also, अपन ज़्यादा करके we'll try to field first. I think we fielded first, is it or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
We fielded first.
Yeah.
So suddenly, like I wore my spikes also, and I went out to bowl because I was giving catch practice to everybody, you know. So I came in, I wore my spikes, I ran across, and I bowled about a couple of overs. I was very warm, very high and warmed up. And then suddenly, he comes and tells me that you're not playing. I think we need one more batsman. So that person is saying like, he's fit. I said, like, no, I think he's not got a good, he's got a bad hamstring. That's what he had told. No, no, but I think he'll carry on. He'll pull on with the game. We'll use him as the third seamer also, third or fourth seamer also. I said, look, again, the opportunity was gone, and as well I could have it. That person also didn't end up bowling in the game at all. एक दो बॉल डाला उसके बाद हैमस्ट्रिंग पकड़ के बैठ गया. I mean, I don't need to say who it is. Guess who it is.
And then you didn't get a chance to play in the third test match, and again in the home season as well, you were picked only for the one-day matches. You went to South Africa. Everybody kept saying that you and Abby should be picked for the test matches. Again, you get it.
That's what. No, I didn't understand. Like how people think like South African wickets were slow. I mean, you had the fastest bowlers in the world at that time in South African side. You're talking about Lance Klusener, you're talking about Macmillan, you're talking about Alan Donald, you're talking about Craig, क्या था उसका नाम?
Matthews.
Craig Matthews. I mean, he was a decent bowler. You're talking about bowlers like these, and then you end up taking super fast bowlers from our side. It was very wondrous to. I mean, after so many years, now, instead of getting annoyed, I feel funny, ये क्या achieve किया ये सब करके. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Record book show, what filth was going on.
And everybody kept saying that Srinath and Prasad don't have a backup, and here you and Abby.
Actually, Srinath, just imagine the attack. Srinath, Prasad, Ankola, and Abby.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was very close friends with a lot of South Africans over there. I still am in touch with Macmillan and all the other mates. They were like, when we landed, he was like, how the hell they weren't you guys picked? Even अपना वो Zimbabwe का कौन था उनका fast bowler Heath.
Heath Street.
He was also like, how the hell did you and Abid not make it? Surprising, like, you don't pick the right bowlers. I mean, your quota is much more bigger than the game itself. It's very funny.
Then you didn't get picked for the West Indies tour as well?
No,
because again...
No. West Indies tour was that time when I had got injured.
Yeah, that's what.
It was not a question. That time it was the wrong thing because I'll tell you one thing. At that time, Srinath and Venkatesh Prasad both were injured. Oh, of course, Sri went to the tour along with
and came back.
And came back again, but he was carrying an injury. It's okay. I mean, it's not. I mean, nothing detrimental saying to Sri because he was a great fast bowler for a country. He went to the tour and came back, but then I got injured on my shin because of which I could never play cricket ever again in my life. So that injury, what happened was it was not given out to the press at all because nobody was sure what this injury is all about. Because it seemed very superficial on my leg. There were not too many signs about it. We did an MRI, we did a bone scan, nothing came out, X-rays, nothing came out. On some term they use, they induce a dye into the bones and everything, and then we found out there's a tumor. So that process only took about a month and a half. And in that process, actually, I really couldn't walk also. So forget playing the chodo. I mean, I couldn't even walk. So it was, nobody knew exactly what was, and of course, as a person, I mean, I believe in ethics a lot. I believe in principles. You're not fit, you're not fit. You should stay home. It's simple as that. So I shouldn't have been picked. So it was the right decision from their part.
When did you know that you were not going to play again?
See, the operation went bad, very bad. In fact, I'll tell you one thing. All these things are going to come out very soon. I'm writing my biopic very soon. And probably you're the first person who knows that. And it's all been approved. The publisher's been approved, and all the whole thing will come out in the media very soon. was supposed to come out now, but अपना Corona साहब आ गए ना बाहर, so it does not come out. So where was I? Well, I mean, I just got a bit lost.
When did you know that you were not going to play again?
Oh, my operation was supposed to happen. It was the same doctor who had come as a doctor for the first Pakistan tour. Apparently, over the years, I kept on going to him, and he diagnosed this problem and all. But the operation went bad, and diagnosis also went wrong. And then I ended up with 36 or 40 stress fracture all over the operated area, and apparently it took me about 3 years to start running again.
Hmm.
And the times, when cricket used to be not so paying at all, so I had a family to support. My father also had retired from the police and everything. Our business also had failed. We used to have a fish farming. Suddenly, we had a lot of losses over there. So acting became an alternative career, which I had no clue about. So this is the way how it ended. Everything got a little messy in that whole period of time. That's when about 3 years from then I came to know that I might not be able to play again because that fracture healed up also. But even till today, that leg gives me pain, a little bit of pain. The operation was
In a
not.
sense,
Huh?
so I said, in a sense, your story is similar to Ravi Shastri's.
Ravi,
He also ended. Ravi ko bhi knee injury ho gaya tha, and he had to quit cricket at the age of 32.
knee injury हुआ, but mine was nothing related to cricket, no. मेरा तो कुछ
Ah.
कनेक्शन नहीं है क्रिकेट से. अरे नी मेरे को होता तो एटलीस्ट आई वुड से अच्छा है नी गया चलो. But here you're talking about humor, which after a month of operation or 12 days of operation, when they sent it to this thing, we found out it is non-cancerous and all that stuff. And then go through a period where you don't have money in the family and all that. There were too many things that which have not been said about. But ठीक तरह से हो गया. Now it is much better, but still it pains.
Thanks a lot. Any particular regrets or anything that you still think about your playing career? Do you have any regrets at all?
Yeah, of course, I regret and wish I had different selectors. Selectors for the game. Otherwise, nothing here. I mean, ठीक है, चलो हो गया, so हो गया. But um, let's see now what I can do. What I couldn't do as a player, let's see what I can do now for cricket. I'll be coming back.
Now with social media, I can probably give you the list of selectors at that time. You can probably troll them.
I don't want to troll. I'm not more of a person. I didn't even know. My son downloaded this Skype for me. I didn't even have Skype. I'm away from social media, and I'm one person who love to post on social media about working out and all that stuff. I never told anybody. I'm not even on Twitter. Twitter because समझता भी नहीं कि कैसा operate करता है. The social media is the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity actually.
Thanks a lot, Salil, for your time. Extremely enjoyed it. Really, thank you.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Take care. Bye.